It's Carolyn, the Contest Queen, and I had to come on today because I saw an article on Twitter from Mobile Syrup that was posted yesterday, but of course the way the algorithm and the feeds work, I didn't see it till today. And it could completely affect our hobby depending on what Twitter chooses to do. So let me just read this article to you. It says, Twitter attempting to curb misinformation by changing how retweets work. The change is being implemented worldwide ahead of the US election. Now, this is important because it's going to affect everybody and they may end up keeping it. So, and then I will explain why I'm talking about this today. So Twitter is temporarily changing the way users are able to retweet ahead of the US election to prevent the spread of misinformation. Although the changes are being implemented ahead of the US election, the changes will apply to users worldwide. Users will still be able to retweet, but they will be presented with an extra step. Starting October 20th, when you click the retweet button, Twitter will encourage you to quote the tweet instead of retweet. Okay? So people who go to retweet will be brought to the quote tweet composer while they'll be encouraged to comment before sending the tweet. Twitter outlined in a blog post, which I will link to below. The social media giant notes that although this adds some extra steps to those who simply want to retweet, it hopes this step will encourage users to not only consider why they are attempting to amplify a tweet, but also increase the likelihood that people will add their own thoughts. Okay? If people don't add anything on the quote tweet composer, it will still appear as a retweet, Twitter states. Further, Twitter is also going to prevent liked by and followed by recommendations from people you don't follow or from showing on your timeline. These changes will be implemented until at least the end of election week in the United States, after which Twitter will assess their continued necessity. Now, this is important for Twitter contests because, for example, it depends on what software or how the sponsor is doing the drawing and which application. So if you comment, it doesn't necessarily get picked up as a retweet. And then when they go to do the drawing, you're not in the drawing. Problem one. So when they change this, I don't know if that will remain the same. They're also taking out the liked by and followed by recommendations. So, for example, that you don't follow. So if I'm following a bunch of sweepers and I'm not following certain sponsors and they like or retweet those, I might not see them, which means I lose opportunities to win sweepstakes. So I understand why they're doing it. It makes sense from a computer standpoint, from a political standpoint. But yes, Joanne said in all caps, note, this is important. If you quote or add something, it is not a retweet. Yes, Joanne, that's my point of coming on the Facebook Live and letting people know this. And also why I do what I do when I was getting the screenshots from my next book, to show people that here's the number of people that liked it, here's the number of people that retweeted it, here's the number of people that commented. All those numbers are different. Why are they different? If you are all entering the exact same way and properly, those numbers should all be exactly the same, right? And so that's a problem if you do that. So Melanie says, I find Twitter harder to win an enter. I love Instagram best. And I think that companies are gravitating more and more to Facebook and Instagram because the conversations on Twitter are getting a bit out of hand, which is why Twitter is implementing this. I do understand that from a corporate perspective. It's something that they're having to do. They're not designed to be a sweepstakes platform. However, as a company, a picture is 1,000 words, and Instagram and Facebook lend themselves better to promotions Pictures are bigger, videos are better. They're not limited to the number of characters. Generally, their target markets are there. They can do Facebook Lives like I'm doing. They have more ways to engage with their followers, which is exactly what they want to do. So in the old days, they might have advertised on television or the radio or in the newspaper, but now they can engage one-on-one, literally one-on-one. Big brands or even small companies can come on, do a Facebook Live, do this, do that, have an Instagram video, and engage with people, answer questions. I think it's a better dynamic. And I just think it's going to be more popular. And I think this is actually going to drive more companies away from Twitter because it's going to make it harder for them to create the giveaways. Because when it's harder to draw a fair winner or reach the audience you want, why would you waste your time, energy, and money on a platform that's not going to benefit you marketing wise? It's a business decision. People complained decades ago when things went from contest 25 words or less, back in the day when Evelyn Ryan, part of the Affadaisies, it was in the book The Prize Winner of Defiance, Ohio, they were doing jingles and they were judged. And there was a whole process around that. And then they went from that to sweepstakes. Why? Sweepstakes were cheaper to manage. It's a business decision. They could reach more people for less money. Why wouldn't you do it? It's a corporate decision. And then, so now, this social is changing. And I think we will see less sweepstakes on Twitter, and we will see the increase in Facebook and Instagram because they're more engaging. And if you're a marketer in a company and you want to better engage with your followers, because let's face it, every marketing activity should be designed to eventually generate sales. It's bottom line. Sales is the only income generating arm of a company. Everything else draws funds. So if you can do something on Facebook and Instagram that better generates top of mind awareness, brand awareness, newsletter subscribers, and so on, that eventually lead to sales, that's what you're going to focus on. And anything that's going to hinder that, such as this new change with Twitter, they're just going to stay away from it. So that's how I see it. I just thought it was such an important change that you may need to be aware of it, because it's actually one of the things I'm talking about in my upcoming book. Okay? I had it in my previous book, but I'm going to reiterate it. When you retweet with a comment, you're not in the drawing. I know Joanne already said it, but you're not. Okay? Because if you look at the numbers, they actually don't go up. It's not good. Anyway, that's why I came on today. Well, after I get off this video, I'm going to post all the links below to the Twitter blog post and to the Mobile Syrup article, and just remind people that when it says retweet, it literally means that. Retweet. Don't retweet with a comment. And if you're supposed to tag friends, tag them in a reply. That's how you're supposed to do it, or you won't be in to win. So there you go. Feel free to post questions below if you didn't catch me live, as I will answer them yesterday. Okay? So let me know if you want to know more about this, or there's other topics you'd like me to talk about. Bye for now.